In conclusion, the controversy over restricted attendance at church convocations underscores the complex interplay between authority, transparency, and accountability. Allegations of informal bans or selective restrictions have sparked debate, questioning how leadership decisions are made and how fair they are to both speakers and attendees. The key takeaway is clear. Religious institutions must prioritize clarity and communication. Without transparency, speculation and mistrust are inevitable. By providing clear guidelines for participation, explaining decision-making processes, and engaging openly with congregants, churches can reinforce credibility and maintain trust. For viewers and followers, this controversy invites reflection. What do you think about the reported restrictions? Should institutions adopt clearer policies for participation? How can leadership balance security, logistics, and inclusivity while maintaining fairness? Your thoughts matter. And sharing them contributes to a larger conversation about accountability and ethics in spiritual communities. Finally, this situation serves as a reminder that openness and integrity are vital for maintaining both credibility and community engagement. Convocations are meant to inspire, unite, and educate, not divide. By addressing controversies directly and with transparency, religious institutions can foster trust, empower voices, and ensure that spiritual gatherings fulfill their intended purpose. Stay tuned for updates. As this story continues to evolve, we will monitor developments closely, exploring every angle of this ongoing controversy, and what it could mean for the future of faith-based events. Imagine stepping into one of the largest religious gatherings in the country, a convocation where faith, inspiration, and community converge. The air is electric with anticipation, with hundreds, sometimes thousands, of attendees eagerly awaiting sermons, performances, and meaningful discussions. Now, imagine the shock of learning that certain speakers and guests are no longer welcome. This isn't a hypothetical scenario. It is a real controversy that has recently emerged in one of the most prominent Pentecostal church organizations in the United States. Church convocations are more than just events. They are spiritual hubs, platforms where ideas are shared, messages are amplified, and communities are strengthened. They allow spiritual leaders, musicians, educators, and activists to connect with congregants on a personal level, fostering both inspiration and dialogue. For many attendees, these gatherings are the highlight of the year, a moment to recharge faith and community bonds. But when participation becomes selective, when some voices are welcomed and others are quietly excluded, the spiritual and communal purpose can be undermined. Recent reports suggest that certain speakers and content creators who have previously been part of these convocations are now being restricted from future attendance. This has raised questions about fairness, accountability, and the unseen mechanisms that guide these decisions. The controversy centers around claims of an informal ban list, a supposed tool used to determine who is allowed to participate. While the existence of such a list has not been officially confirmed, the speculation has ignited widespread discussion across social media, online forums, and within the congregation itself. Some argue this is a necessary measure for order and security, while others see it as a troubling sign of selective enforcement and potential bias. Adding complexity, some reports indicate that these restrictions are not communicated directly, but through subtle signals or informal channels, leaving affected individuals to figure out for themselves whether they are welcome. This lack of clarity creates confusion and frustration, particularly for content creators and speakers who have devoted years to engaging with the church community. In this video, we will take a deep dive into this situation. We will explore the allegations, discuss the broader implications for church governance, and consider how this affects both speakers and attendees. We will also raise the question, should religious institutions prioritize transparency over control, or is a balance possible? By the end, you will have a comprehensive understanding of the controversy and its wider significance. Asterisk, at the heart of the controversy are allegations of restrictions placed on speakers and contributors. Sources suggest that some individuals who once participated freely in convocations are now being asked not to attend, or are receiving warnings that their presence may not be welcome. These reports have raised suspicions about the existence of a formal or informal mechanism that determines attendance. The concept of a ban list has emerged in discussions online, According to reports, this list is used to identify individuals who may be restricted from attending future events. Although no official documentation has been released, the mere idea of a ban list has caused concern and curiosity among congregants and content creators alike. Key questions arise. Who manages this list? What criteria are used to decide inclusion? And why are some individuals barred, while others continue to be welcomed without issue? Historical context provides some insight. In previous convocations, certain high-profile speakers were reportedly asked to step back due to conflicts sometimes personal, sometimes ideological. While these decisions may have been made to maintain the event's smooth operation or safety, the lack of transparent explanation has fueled speculation. Community members have questioned whether personal disagreements or political considerations within church leadership influence such decisions more than formal policy. Critics argue that selective attendance policies can erode trust and foster a sense of unfairness. When attendees perceive that some voices are being deliberately silenced while others are promoted, it undermines the sense of equality and spiritual inclusivity that such events are meant to uphold. For the speakers themselves, the impact can be significant, affecting both their professional credibility and their ability to engage with the faith community. On the other hand, supporters of church leadership suggest that security, logistics, and planning constraints necessitate careful management of speakers. Large events require detailed coordination, and leadership decisions may sometimes appear arbitrary, even if they are based on legitimate concerns for safety, scheduling, or overall event cohesion. Social media has amplified every rumor, tweet, or post surrounding this issue. For instance, followers and attendees are actively discussing instances where speakers were either not invited or subtly discouraged from attending. This public discourse has created pressure on church leadership to address the matter. Although official statements have been scarce, the combination of rumor, partial information, and speculation has made this controversy a trending topic online. Part 3: Implications. And church politics. Now that we've explored the allegations, it's important to understand the broader implications of these developments. Church convocations are not just spiritual gatherings. They are also microcosms of leadership dynamics, institutional politics, and decision-making hierarchies. When certain speakers are restricted or subtly discouraged from participating, it raises questions about power, authority, and fairness within the institution. The structure of church governance is complex. Decisions about who can participate in convocations often involve multiple layers of leadership, including bishops, regional leaders, and administrative staff. While some decisions may be based on logistics, security, or event flow, personal relationships, ideological alignment, and internal politics can sometimes influence these outcomes. This creates a delicate balance between organizational control and spiritual mission. One major implication is the perception of fairness. Congregants and followers notice when certain voices are consistently included or excluded. If these decisions lack transparency, it can foster distrust and division within the community. People might start questioning whether leadership favors certain viewpoints or personalities, rather than prioritizing inclusivity and spiritual enrichment. Over time, this can subtly erode the sense of unity that convocations are intended to promote. Another important aspect is the impact on content creators and speakers. For individuals who have built a presence and connection with the congregation, being excluded can affect not only their credibility, but also their ability to spread messages of inspiration and faith. This restriction may also influence the diversity of ideas and experiences available at these events, potentially limiting the richness of the spiritual dialogue. The politics of church leadership also intersect with public perception. Social media amplifies every rumor, post, and commentary about who is in or out. While some argue that this scrutiny helps maintain accountability, it also adds pressure and scrutiny on church leadership. Decisions that might have been routine in the past are now publicly debated, with followers forming opinions without access to the full context. Furthermore, there is a question of institutional priorities. Should the church prioritize operational control and security, or should it emphasize inclusivity, openness, and diversity of voices? This is not an easy balance to strike. Large-scale events require careful planning, but overemphasis on control may inadvertently alienate valued contributors and members of the community. Ultimately, This controversy highlights the need for clear communication. When leadership decisions are opaque, assumptions and suspicions fill the gap, creating more tension than necessary. By establishing transparent policies, explaining reasoning behind speaker selection, and engaging openly with congregants, the church can mitigate controversy and maintain trust. In short, the implications of selective attendance go beyond individual speakers. They touch on community trust, leadership, accountability, and the spiritual integrity of the events themselves. Understanding these dynamics is essential for anyone who values the balance between organized leadership and the inclusive, inspiring purpose of church convocations. This expanded discussion sets the stage for the final part, where we will draw conclusions and explore what these developments mean for viewers, followers, and the future of church convocations.